If your compost pile has ever sat there for months, wet, smelly and refusing to finish, you know the frustration. You turn it, water it, add your greens and browns, and still it crawls along like a lazy engine. The truth is, modern gardeners have unknowingly left behind a treasure trove of composting wisdom. Our ancestors didn't wait a year for black gold to appear. They had a set of simple, often messy, sometimes banned tricks that turned waste into rich, fertile humus in a fraction of the time. These weren't gimmicks. They were time-tested methods passed down through generations, and today science is proving just how effective they are. In this guide, I'll share 9 forgotten tricks that can cut your composting time in half. Each one adds something unique, whether it's microbes, minerals, or the right chemical balance, to supercharge your pile. And best of all, you can start using them right now with what you already have at home. Generations ago, spoiled milk never went to waste. Farmers knew that even when milk clabbered or soured, it was teeming with beneficial bacteria. Lactic acid bacteria, the same microbes that make yogurt and cheese, break down tough plant fibers and create the perfect environment for compost microbes to thrive. To use this method today, add half a cup of sour milk or whey to your compost once a week. Pour it evenly across the surface, never flooding the pile, but giving just enough to wake the microbes up. Within days, you'll notice the pile heating again, turning lifeless scraps into a thriving biological system. Every hearth once produced a steady supply of ash, and wise farmers knew it wasn't waste. Wood ash is packed with potassium, calcium and trace minerals that enrich compost. More importantly, it helps balance acidic conditions that often slow decomposition. To make use of it, you just sprinkle a small handful of clean wood ash whenever you add a layer of food scraps or garden waste. Now, you want to avoid ashes from coal or chemically treated wood. In moderation, ash actually improves microbial activity, holds moisture and enriches the finished compost with minerals your soil craves. One of the most surprising compost boosters is also one of the most overlooked. Fresh urine is sterile and loaded with urea, which quickly breaks down into nitrogen. The fuel microbes need to heat up a pile. In fact, it also contains phosphorus and potassium, making it a natural NPK fertilizer. The key is proper dilution. Mix 1 part urine with 10 parts water, then pour the solution over carbon-rich materials like straw, dry leaves or shredded cardboard. This instantly balances your pile and wakes up dormant microbes. Used sparingly, it's one of the fastest ways to revive a compost heap that has gone cold. Flat beer may not excite your taste buds, but your compost pile will love it. Beer is rich in yeast, sugars and B vitamins, perfect food for microbes. Farmers who lived near breweries once collected leftover mash and grains, tossing them into compost heaps to great effect. If you have a forgotten bottle of beer, pour it directly onto your pile. For an even stronger effect, dissolve 1 teaspoon of dry yeast in 1 cup of warm water and sprinkle it over fresh scraps before adding them. This acts like priming the engine of your compost, ensuring decomposition starts fast and continues strong. Long before garden centres, nothing from a farm animal went to waste. Blood was collected, dried and sometimes added straight into compost piles. Why? Because blood is almost pure protein, which means nitrogen. A small amount was enough to turn a sluggish pile into a steaming furnace. Today, you don't need to handle raw blood. Powdered blood meal is available at garden stores, safe to use and, well, incredibly effective. Just sprinkle a small handful into your compost, especially if your pile is heavy with dry leaves or cardboard. It delivers the nitrogen punch needed to keep decomposition racing along. Native Americans buried fish beneath corn plants and coastal farmers tossed fish scraps into their compost heaps. Fish is rich in proteins, oils, calcium and trace minerals that speed decomposition and improve the finished compost's fertility. To use this trick safely, always bury fish scraps deep in the centre of your pile and cover them with a thick layer of browns like shredded cardboard or straw. This prevents odours and keeps pests away while ensuring microbes get the fuel they need. Done right, fish waste produces compost that not only finishes faster but also feeds your soil with unmatched richness. Seaweed is honestly one of nature's best gifts to the compost pile. It breaks down rapidly, attracts all sorts of beneficial worms and microbes, and delivers a wealth of minerals like magnesium, potassium, and calcium. Seaweed also contains plant hormones that promote root growth once the compost is applied to the garden. If you're near the coast, just collect fallen seaweed. Rinse it thoroughly to remove salt and add it to your pile in alternating layers with browns. If not, dried kelp meal is widely available and works just as well. Seaweed not only accelerates composting but also produces a mineral-rich product that bagged fertilizers just can't match. Sometimes a compost pile just needs a strong start. For centuries, farmers relied on manure tea, a simple, powerful activator. By steeping aged manure in water, they created a liquid teeming with beneficial microbes and nitrogen which could be poured over compost to bring it to life almost instantly. So, to make it yourself, just place 1 shovel of well-aged manure, could be cow, horse, rabbit or even chicken, into a 5-gallon bucket of water. Give it a good stir and let it steep for about 3 to 5 days. When it turns dark brown, you simply pour it evenly across your compost pile. This safe and effective method can really transform a sluggish heap into a thriving microbial factory within just a few hours. You know, these so-called banned farm tricks didn't vanish because they were ineffective. They faded away mostly because they were messy, smelly, or just a bit inconvenient compared to those shiny bags of commercial fertilizer. But the truth is, they work, and honestly, they cost nothing but a little creativity. Sour milk, wood ash, urine, beer, yeast, blood meal, fish scraps, seaweed and manure tea. Each one adds a different spark to your compost pile. Used together, they create a system that almost never goes cold, producing finished compost in weeks instead of seasons. As gardeners, we're not just breaking down waste, we're building life. Every time you add one of these forgotten ingredients, you're feeding an invisible ecosystem of microbes and fungi that transform scraps into the black gold your soil craves. So, the next time your compost seems to stall, don't reach for a plastic bag of store-bought activator. Reach for the wisdom of the past. Try a splash of sour milk, a sprinkle of ash, or a bucket of manure tea. These are the same secrets that kept farms thriving for centuries, and they can work for you too. And if you found this guide helpful, make sure to subscribe to Timeless Crops Haven and share it with fellow gardeners. Together, we can bring these powerful, time-tested methods back to life and grow healthier gardens faster than ever before.